त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री महालक्ष्मी महासरस्वती महाकाली त्रिगुणात्मिका कुंडलिनी साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री सहस्रार स्वामिनी मोक्ष प्रदायिनी माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः।
Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone online. I'm Lynn and we have tonight with us Chaitanya. And Chaitanya is going to take us through our self-realization. So if it's your first time tonight, that'll get you started for your meditation. And of course, if you've been before, that'll establish our self-realization. As well as that, as we've indicated on our messages, many messages we've been sending you, we have buckets of lukewarm water with salt in them. And we're going to do Footsoak, which Chaitanya is going to also take us through, which will give us a nice balance so that we can calm that bubbling brook of our brain and feel an even stronger meditation after that. So we'll just talk a little bit about this very interesting chart over here, which is our subtle system, which it's more than subtle, it's quite grand in that it is the history of our entire existence. Would you agree with that, Chaitanya?
I think so, yeah.
For instance, all of these spots, and all of the chart is magically appearing before everyone. All of these, so the most important one, of course, is this triangular bone here, where our Kundalini resides. Now that we've all had our self-realization, we've awakened our Kundalini energy, our mothering energy, to communicate with us and help us to ascend into this seventh chakra. So that's the stage of now. But all of the stages of our life, or the life of human beings, is represented by each of these chakras or nerve plexuses. And for instance, right now, I won't go through everything, but right now we're at this stage here, which was opened like 2,000 years ago by the birth of Jesus Christ. And he came to teach us the power of forgiveness. I mean, when you think about it, you've got this crown of thorns, like this is pretty harsh, on your forehead. This is how 2,000 years ago what happened to Jesus Christ. And you're nailed to a wooden cross. I mean, that would be fairly painful. And one of the things that really stands out to me is that, and to everyone probably, that he said, forgive them because they don't know what they're doing. I mean, that is forgiveness, and we can't forgive such minute things. So in the grand scheme of things, forgiving is a small thing to do for the things that might have happened to us or that we feel we've done. So, but we'll get into that a bit later after we have our Footsoak. We've got a lovely excerpt of Shri Mataji, the lady who started this whole process of entering into this 7th stage by teaching us how to get our self-realization and also letting us understand that this is something we can also pass on. So she called it one candle enlightening another candle. So when we've got our self-realization, and we'll continue establishing that daily and weekly together, we can then pass it on. So everyone can do that. So that's the wonderful thing about that. So that self-realization process is simply for us here who've got our self-realization already, and those of you online who also do, whoever has come new today, they simply ask for that to be awakened, and with that vibe, it's a kind of a vibe thing, that your own Mother Kundalini feels that vibe and awakens. Yeah, it's a real thing happening. There are people who have got their realization, so I will awaken. And she's very keen to awaken in everyone, and that's so that we can all enter into that next stage beyond the thinking brain into the feeling, joyful, silent place of this 7th energy center. Unless anyone has any questions or points that we might want to cover before we go to that. John, did you have something? No? So, Chaitanya, would you like to take us through that self-realization and strengthening our self-realization process for those of you who are new and those of us who are not so new? You can come a bit closer, Chaitanya. If you haven't got your bucket and you would like to have a Footsoak with us, you can quickly go and grab it now. So it's just ankle depth, warm, lukewarm water with a bit of salt in it, and a towel and water for rinsing. So, Chaitanya, tell us what we'll do.
Well, first off, you just put your left hand on your knee, palm up, facing up. And you get your right hand and just place it over the left portion of your chest where you can feel your heart. And we'll just take you through down just above the stomach, so right where the ribs kind of end, and then down to kind of the leg crease where the leg meets the torso.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll be saying kind of these affirmation things throughout. Once you reach the lower part, just where the torso kind of meets the leg, we'll then raise up again to the lower stomach, to the left portion of the chest, onto the left side of the neck, pulling your head to the right, just kind of pointing your head to the right side as you do, turning it. Then onto your forehead, the back of your head, and then finally just onto the top of your head, more or less. So we should start.
Let's do it.
So same thing. Left hand on just before your knee, palm up. Right hand, just place it on the left side of your chest, so where you can feel your heart.
Should we close our eyes?
Yeah, closing your eyes is a good idea. So just where you can feel your heart beating, and just say, you can say Shri Mataji's name, you can say Mother Kundalini, you can say, so Mother Kundalini, am I the pure spirit? And you say that 3 times. So Mother Kundalini, am I the pure spirit? Mother Kundalini, am I the pure spirit? And just without thinking about it, just put your attention to where your heart's beating and just hold it there for a moment. Then take the hand down to the stomach, so just where the ribs end. Hold your hand there and say, Mother Kundalini, am I my own master? And just like before, say that 2 times again in your head, and then just quietly concentrate on where your hand is, and just say that to yourself, like, am I my own master? And then take your right hand down to kind of the point where the leg meets the torso. And here, once again, you just say, Mother Kundalini, please give me the pure knowledge. Say that two more times. And just, if it's possible, just quietly ask that with a bit of strength. Just please give me the pure knowledge. And when you think that you've really felt that it works there, just place your hand upwards once again, just with the ribs end. And this time, say to yourself, Mother Kundalini, I am my own master. So this time, affirming that it's true. You just say it to yourself, 2 or 3 more times. So every time you say it to yourself, just, am I my own master? I am my own master. And raise up again to the left side of the chest, onto your heart. Say, Mother Kundalini, I am the pure spirit. And then place your right hand on the left side of your neck and just tilt your head a bit to the right and say to yourself, Mother Kundalini, I am not guilty, because we're not guilty for anything we've done. And then place your right hand on your forehead. It's a good idea to just tilt your head down a bit, just so you're facing just a little bit towards the ground. And say, Mother Kundalini, please, I forgive everyone, and also I forgive myself. And then place your right hand on the back part of your head and just tilt your head up a bit so that you're facing towards the sky. And just say, Mother Kundalini, if I have done anything wrong, please forgive me. And finally, place your right hand on the topmost part of your head and just press it there a bit gently. And you can rotate it in the clockwise circles, just slightly moving the skin. And just say to yourself, Mother Kundalini, please give me my self-realization. as the end part, and just without thinking, just focus your attention on that part and just say to yourself, please give me my self-realization. And just raise your hand a few inches above your head, and just with your palm, see if you can feel any cool or any kind of sensation, either on your hand or just coming from the top of your head. It usually should be kind of like a cool bit of breeze, sometimes warm, and it should be there. And you can raise your hand a bit higher, just see if it's there or if it keeps extending. You can also try with your left hand. So just same thing, place it on top of your head, and then just raise it up, and just see if you can feel any cool breeze, any warm breeze, because that's the end part where the Mother Kundalini has been kind of brought upwards, and that's kind of the sign that she's finally there. And then when you're done, when you think you found it, just place your hand on your lap. You can just concentrate, well, not concentrate, just put your awareness to where you last felt the cool and just let it hang there for a bit. And after a bit, I think just about going your realization.
Very nice. Thank you. Chaitanya, shall we do the short form of raising our Kundalini with our hands and giving ourselves abundance? Then we can go into the Footsoak. Should we do that?
Sure.
Oh, okay. So our left hand rises up and our attention's on that, and our right hand winds around. So this is the short form of taking our Kundalini up to the 7th chakra and tying a knot, which many of you have done before. But if not, if it's your first time, this is the lovely short way to raise your Kundalini. For the second time, we do 2 knots. And the third time, because we have 3 channels, which we didn't really talk about much yet, but we will. And tie 3 knots. And then with those lovely vibrations we're feeling on our hands now, with our right hand of action, we'll start from the left and spread all of those vibrations over our body. And we'll do that 7 times for each of our chakras, over and back. Here's 1. We're up to 3. 4, 5, 6, and then the last, the 7th. And that's how we start and finish our meditation always, especially when you're doing it at home in the days in between us doing them together. So for the next section, we have our clearing or balancing. So why do we want to be balanced, Chaitanya?
Well, essentially humans just have to go somewhere. We have to do things. If we get too much, if we just go too fast, we'll fall into problems. If we go too slow, we'll just fall behind. So it's just keeping balance, keeping moving without getting into problems, without dwelling on any kind of mistakes. Yeah.
Nice, nice. So in order to bring ourselves into the present, so we don't want to go too fast in the future or too slow in the past, we want to be in the balance, in the center, in the present. So we have various ways to bring ourselves back from the brink. And tonight we're going to use the elements of the water and the salt. We've got the candle, there is a candle there, even though you may not be able to see it, to balance ourselves as we are all made from the elements. We will use those elements to bring ourselves back from the brink. So we'll take our buckets. Chaitanya, I think you're going to lead us through this Footsoak, which will be nice. Yep. So we'll just get ourselves ready for Chaitanya. We've got some paper towel, but you might have a towel that you'll use for that purpose, and a bit of rinsing water. So if you don't have a bucket, that's fine. You just follow along. But if you have a bucket, feel free. And so that's also got, we've got a handful of salt in there as well. So hopefully everyone's all ready. Yes, come closer, Chaitanya. So restricted with our camera angles here. So would you like to take us through a simple Footsoak? So we probably won't go through clearing all of the chakras, but normally we would bring our hands at the level of our heart and just ask, Mother Kundalini, please show me my vibrations. And then you would see, in fact, we can try that and then see how we feel at the end when we do it again. What do you say, Chaitanya?
Yes.
So make a note of what you're feeling and see what you feel after the Footsoak. Okay, tell us what to do, Chaitanya.
Well, provided you got the Footsoak, the bucket ready with some water and salt in it, it's a good idea often to just get your right hand and just go draw just a circle about 7 times over the water, similar to how you do Kundalini Bandhan before and afterwards, just to kind of get the protection over it. And when you're done, put your both feet in. And so we talked about not going too far forward or too far backwards, just balancing kind of both sides of the human being, the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system. So first you start with I think it's the sympathetic, which is the part that kind of cools you down, relaxes you. So you get your right hand and just place it with the palm facing towards the ground. Keep your left hand just on your lap, and just, you can say to yourself, please remove all the obstructions and all the heat from my left side into the earth. And then just like we were doing before, where you try and kind of focus on the Kundalini on the top of the head, just focus on that and just kind of meditate on the left side and just kind of let all the problems with the left side go into the earth. And then when you, if you can't, usually you change over when you can't feel any more kind of tingling or heat on the left hand. Just place your right hand back onto your lap, palm facing upwards. Then get your left hand and hold it up so that your palms facing over your shoulder. And this is to remove kind of all the heat and obstructions from the right side, the parasympathetic. And just say to yourself, please remove all the obstructions and heat from my right side into the air. So you're just letting all the heat that you've built up during the day just kind of go out from your right side into your left hand and then outwards. And same as before, just kind of meditate on that. Don't think of anything, just kind of let it happen. And then when you can't feel any more heat or any more tingling on the right hand, just place both of them on your lap and just say, please let me be in complete balance. And then just try and meditate. Don't think about anything. And just kind of, just be in balance. If you're having problems with your attention wandering, you can just raise the Kundalini again by getting your right hand at the kind of base of the spine on your lap and just raising it upwards through the body onto the top of your head, placing it there and just pressing down quite gently on the top of your head. And then raising up again to see if you feel anything. And then just repeating that 2 or 3 more times, just kind of reaffirming that the Kundalini is still there. And then when you feel you're done, there's just a technique to kind of clear away anything that's left over. So just place both your hands on the side of your head. So right hand on the left side, left hand on the right side. You just kind of draw them down through all the centers we've just been awakening, and just let anything bad go into the water.
Nice. Very, very powerful. Very relaxing. We can rinse our feet and dry them. We'll probably just put our buckets to one side, but online you can tip the water into the toilet, and we'll see you again in a minute when you get back. Just put a bit of music on while we wait for everyone to come back. Music is coming. Bit of lively music while we wait for everyone to dispose of their buckets. We'll just have a little bit of a meditate after lovely clearing that Tanya took us through. So our attention is still at the top of our head. Okay, it's a bit softer. Taking your attention to that spot where you felt the breeze earlier on. And maybe take your two hands up at the level of your heart and just see how your vibrations are now. So ask Mother Kundalini, please show me my vibrations. See the difference. Both my hands are feeling a lot lighter and similar, whereas one was feeling a bit heavier earlier before having the Footsoak. And then keep them back on your lap. Just let our attention go up, back up on top of our head. It's a very nice meditation with you all. We've got another treat now, carrying on in our meditative mood. We've got about 10-minute excerpt of Shri Mataji talking about qualities of the Agya Chakra and still in the desire to quieten the mind and quieten the thoughts. So we'll just listen to that and then have another meditate after the talk. And don't forget, if you have any questions, we're very happy to answer any questions at the end of the session. Goes for everyone here as well. So let me get that talk ready for everyone. It's coming up. Just go over here and get that playing for you all.
Now we are trying to transform our energies towards the energy of the spirit. So you have to allow the spirit to take over. Your effort of your mind should be reduced and the energy of the spirit should work through you. Now how do you do it? First is detachment. Detachment. Detachment start with the thought. Let us see the thought. It's called as vichara shaithilya, relaxation of the thought. But still this mind, which is quite silly, tries to impress upon you that you have to use the old junky instrument of this mind. And it asserts that better use. And when you start using that, ego comes in, you get attached to it. And what you lose is your progress, and thus the joy is minimized. How do you detach yourself? For a person who is absolutely detached, it's very difficult to explain how to detach, isn't it? I'll try. Now, I cannot get attached, that's the problem is. So just now if you give up your satta, your own domain, you get into the domain of your spirit. You give up your domain. That is your ego's domain, or maybe your superego's domain. You give up that and try to see things how it works out. Now, what is the testing point of it? How do you test it? It works out. That's the point of testing. It works out. Allow it to work out. Don't put your attention. Attention has the second part of it, the tension. And don't try to say, why not today? It should have happened today. We expected it to happen. Why not at this moment? That's your ego. Thy will be done. So the thought that starts moving in our mind all the time, which creates tensions, is not the thought of the spirit. So, what you should say? Not this thought. Not this thought. Yan neti neti vachanai nigamo avochus. Not this thought, not this thought, not this thought. And see how you relax. Now you are relaxing. Not this thought, not this thought. Just go on refusing, accepting any thought. So you go into nirvichara. In that state, you feel the spirit. Christ has done the greatest work on this, I should say, but we do not understand because his life was like a micro thing. See, in 3 years. So we have to open it out a little bit and see what he did. He has given us the greatest weapon of forgiveness. When you forgive a person, what do? You accept the situation to begin with. And secondly, you forgive what you think has been done wrong to you. But because nothing can be done wrong to your spirit, you just forgive because you are the spirit. And when you forgive, you have found that your tension goes away. So even to your thoughts, if you say, all right, forgive this thought, because thought is also not to be punished. Forgive this thought, forgive everything. Not forget, forgive. Because then you will even forget that you are the spirit. But forgive all the thoughts that are coming to me. Just go on saying this is a mantra. What is a mantra? Is that power of the word that expresses spirit. So this is a very important thing Christ has given us, the weapon of forgiveness. Everybody has that weapon. Everyone can use that weapon. You don't have to put in any effort for it. You don't have to pay for it. It's just you have to say, I forgive. You'll be amazed, your nerves will soothe down. This tension, this pressure of these modern things will be reduced if you go on saying, I forgive. I forgive them. For example, you go and see some sort of if you happen suddenly to see something very filthy according to the spirit. Maybe it is very exciting according to normal human beings, but we are abnormal people. And for us, if we find it rather ugly, then the best thing is to get over is to say, I forgive. Because they are ignorant. They are blind. They are not yet there where I am. I am the one who is at the source of enjoyment, at the source of peace, and while these are not, so I forgive. And you'll be amazed that this forgiveness that Christ gives works out vichara shaithilya, is the relaxation of the thought. Now this opposite movement that you have to move, first of all, should start at this point today from forgiving others. Now what happens when you forgive someone? That means you do not react. The power to react to somebody's injuries, insults is finished. And when that power is finished, you become a powerful person. Because nobody can now overpower you. Because nobody can kill you. Nobody can hurt you. Nobody can do anything to you. But it is not, again, I'll say, shamelessness. You see, people can think that it is shamelessness. So, if somebody says to you something harsh and something that is wrong, you do not accept it. So, in Sahaja Yoga, one has to understand that it is just the central path, is just the balancing thing which is important. Is not an extreme of anything. Like when we go to say that you must forgive everyone, is not going to that extreme where you have done some wrong and somebody says to you, you don't take that part of it. It doesn't mean that. Again, discretion is the engine of your movement. So you have to see that if they have said it, something like that, is it, have I gone against the spirit? It's a very thin road on which you have to walk. One side is the huge, big Gibraltar, rock of Gibraltar of your ego. The another side is a superego. In between is a small discretion path going, on which you have to see both the sides. Whether you are hitting yourself with the rock of Gibraltar or falling into the valley of superego, you should see that you are using your discretion.
Just meditate for a couple of minutes. I'll put a little music on for that purpose. This is it. Slowly open your eyes and finish there. We might just finish the meditation by raising our Kundalini and placing ourselves in the Bandhan again. Just keep it up there. The left hand raising up, tying the knot. Doing that 3 times with full attention on your hands going up. Three knots. We really want to keep our attention up there, and then protecting ourselves by putting those lovely vibrations over our entire body, over all of our chakras. Approximately 7 times over and back. Of course, I've lost count, but I'm sure that must be 7. So we've learned a couple of skills tonight to say not this thought, and also that I am the spirit. So they're quite useful skills to have when you're trying to have your 5-minute meditation each day, that you actually get that little bit of silence. So just achieving the silence where you get your connection just refreshes you entirely. So just a couple of minutes each day, if you can get that absolute silence, you'll feel that progression in your ascent, which is what we all want to do, get into that 7th center. So would you promise any questions or any feedback, anything you want to share? Feel free. So hopefully you've got the chat available. Oh, hi, Percy. Nice to see you there. Percy said thank you to us, Chaitanya. I'll just make sure you've got the ability to chat. Oh, yes, you have. So feel free to put any questions in the chat or any feedback at all. So Rishi, you've had some foot soaks in the actual ocean, I believe.
Yeah, last couple of days we were over in Gerringong, Wollongong.
Oh, nice.
So enjoying the cold water.
Ah, yes.
Very good for the right side.
Yes, yes, must feel refreshed. You didn't have to go to work today, did you? Yeah,
yes,
that's why
but I so before coming here as well.
Nice.
So
You're double soaked.
Yeah.
Very good.
good night's sleep tonight for sure.
Yeah, yeah. That's the other good thing with the foot soaking. Does improve the sleep. Definitely improves the sleep. If you find it more convenient to have a foot soak in the morning, that's one thing, but for the sleep, it's good in the night. How have you been going? Good? Getting your meditation and foot soak? Very good, very good. How was your meditation tonight? Felt good? Felt the silence? Very good, very good. Oh, thank you, iPhone. Lots of thank yous on the chat, but thank you from iPhone. So it's I didn't give you the ability to rename yourself, so I completely understand that you're still an iPhone. So I guess next week we'll touch on the Sasrara, the 7th energy centre. So we'll see who we have as a guest presenter next week as well. Thank you, Chaitanya. It was very nice to go through the realisation and the foot soak with you. It's always good, whomsoever we can manage to get into the hot seat. So I'll leave you all with some music, and unless we have some... okay, yes. Hi, Derek. Thank you for your kind words. And we'll put some music on for you all so you can finish with a bit of meditation if you so wish. Let me see what we can play. You're the same, or yeah, maybe we'll play some more Zakir Hussain. कैसे लगा भगवान आज बहुत इधर जो करते हैं ना it's very repetitive.
Are you going to take care of it?
Night, everyone.
बस चल रहा है कार है